Hello, so I just watched Genlock episode 4, I believe. Pacing is very, very good. These episodes are going by like almost instantly, you know? Like they're just happening and I'm just like absorbed, which is a very good sign. I like how they're dealing with time. That felt quite natural. The sort of how they show the repeating thing. I love that trope can be very sort of helpful. I like how they set stuff up because a lot of the time, pretty much for fiction, a lot of it is like you set up something and then you have the payoff for that thing, and that's like how you can keep your sort of audience or whatever, depending on whatever the media this happens to be in, like film, TV, books, whatever. But your audience, so you keep them engaged and interested and feel like they have some more stakes in the story that they might not have through other means. And you set stuff up straight away. There's like the sort of I can only spend a limited time in the suits, things like that. There's exposition, which we know is going to be helpful later. The fact that there's seems to be a certain age limit. The fact that not like the mind sharing exists, but Chase hasn't shared his mind with anyone, which is strange. If any of the others, like, the others have to come up at some point, surely, but that one is the one that sticks out to me the most. Something's got to be up with Chase or something. Because if that technology's been there for a while and she was so willing to try it, what's going on with him? Is there a weird block on his mind or something? Or I don't know. There's something weird going on with him and his mind. Not entirely sure what yet, being honest. But yeah. It's just the fact that, like, you know when a character says something and you're like, oh, that's suspicious, and then immediately after another character is like, oh, really? And it's like, oh, no, I'm gonna write this down. I'm gonna like write this down for later, like future plot thread. Yes, it's very good, because then later on these things aren't going to come up out of nowhere. They've been built up, and I very much like that. That's very nice. And another setup about the sort of holons and the... Are they holons or holons? I don't know how to pronounce it with this voice. Should I go with holons? I'm going to go with holons because holons sounds like colon, and that's not holon. You get the setup with the different sort of holon designs and customization, because you start to see that although the people are getting better, there's still some kind of... They do work as a group, but they don't work as a unit. They have these sort of differing approaches to things, which aren't reflected by the sort of holons, and just the way that, like, you know, when it's been pointed out by a character, like, multiple times, like, this body isn't suited to me, and the body's not suited to me, and like, oh, there's ways of changing it. I'm like, yeah, like, bunny one got completely totaled, like wrecked. So she's probably going to get one first, and then if she gets one, other people might want one. But yeah, that scene, by the way, brutal. Like, it's always a good reason. Like, loads of sci-fi things and genres and such which overlap with sci-fi often like use droids as like almost like cannon fodder or something for soldiers or whatever, because you can kill them without there necessarily being like that human attachment to it. Like, it's not gory and they don't like cry out in pain or anything a lot of the time. That's why it's so easy to just show that and use them as cannon fodder. But the show's done a really good job of showing that when they're in these different bodies, the Hollands, they are very much them, like with their actions and mannerisms. I like the fact that they captured when people talk, because you know in lots of animated shows when people talk they stand completely still like this and only their face moves, and it's generally just their mouth just moving over whenever they say things, and that doesn't look natural. Lots of people do little movements, some they're not even 100% aware of, like gesturing the hands and just like moving the head or whatever, and changing eye contact and eyebrows, expressions. And they managed to get some of that with the Hollands, because obviously the Hollands don't have much in the way of faces. They still get a lot with gestures and mannerisms. So very much been set up. When these people are in these bodies, they are in them and they are feeling things. And so when one gets torn apart, the sound she made, that was more brutal than I was expecting. You know, like some recent stuff's been a bit darker, and then like I'm into that. You know, I like some dark, but I didn't quite. I don't know why. I just didn't quite expect that, and I was like, oh no, oh no. Wasn't even sure what was happening at first. It just took me a second, and then like the sort of ripping, and then her noises, and I was like, oh no. But I'll tell you what, like, Maisie Williams is a Scottish girl, isn't she? I think she is. I think that's what it says on the credits. I didn't, like, you don't always, people who are actors and stuff don't always transfer well into voice actors, but yeah, I think she's doing pretty great, you know, which is pretty cool for her, so we might see her in other things in the future. Not directly related to this show, but I liked that. It was quite uncomfortable listening to that. So, yeah, I don't think she's dead or anything. Like, I didn't think I didn't think she was dead or anything when, like, the head was torn off and stuff. There's just, the intro indicates otherwise, and it would feel weird to kill her at that moment. But it indicated she is still alive through, like, the mind share stuff. That's pretty good. Also pretty good. So I heard some things about representation, and I got excited, because representation is one of the things that's very important to me. It's very important to lots of people. So I'm always excited when a project has good representation. And a gender fluid character, like, I'm not really sure if I've seen any media with a gender fluid character. Like, I've seen some with, like, I've seen, like, some characters which dabble in things which are meant for, big scary air quotes, other genders, like, you know, a man who might wear some makeup, or women who, I don't know, like sports, I guess. Gender roles are weird. But never really seen a gender fluid character, and that makes me so happy. I love Val / and Tina. that whole scene. Like, clearly there's an adjustment process, you know, with Kazoo. And he'll get there, I imagine. You know, he's being presented as mainly a good guy, so he'll get there. But it's very much like, oh yeah, I'm this. Just unapologetically. It's very good because it's just a normal part of this person. And it just makes me very happy, you know. And the whole thing, it's like, what sex were you born as? You'll never know. Oh, Val Slash and Tina might be like my favourite, or one of my favourites. I just love that. I think at some point in your life, if you're like, if something about your identity is something that people dismiss or think is wrong, then you can like kind of get a like, I don't give a fuck sort of attitude. And it can be really refreshing to see that in characters, you know, where it's just like, yeah, I'm this, that's it. You know, just casually. And so I very much liked that, and I very much liked that other characters, you know, Bunny Girl sort of knew about things like this, and it was like normal. That made me very happy. And that transitioning is something that I like, the idea that, because it's not always sort of covered in technologically advanced futures, that someone thought about transitioning and made it something that's not only quite easy, I don't want to say easy, a lot easier, but something that can be done quicker, multiple times. And something that probably has like less health risks. So it makes me glad that in at least one fictional universe that I've seen, that like physically transitioning can be done with like the minimal amount of like negative consequences that can be associated with that. And I mean in terms of like health and expense and stuff. That makes me very happy. Also, a character wearing a hijab. That was nice. That was that makes me so happy. And it was just like, yeah, I make this choice in this presentation of myself, but not my presentation of myself in what you usually see. And it makes me happy because like she wasn't pleased in any way. It was just like, oh, okay, just sort of, you know, slightly surprised. It was very nice. Also, I agree. It was like, it took some getting used to see her it was a different sort of design because she has like long hair and stuff now. So it's a hijab, and I actually really like that design. It's very good. And the fact that the bunny girl is literally a furry is just like, you know that lots of people are just as soon as you get into any kind of virtual reality thing where you can change your appearance, then people are just going to go wild and just do any kinds of weird stuff that they can think of, because like, hell yeah, you can control how people perceive you exactly, which is something that so few of us get to do in real life. And the fact that she just picks this cute, adorable little video game sort of figure with like big bunny ears and stuff, that's she's a furry and she's valid. I really like the design of that little creature, by the way. It was very cute. But yeah, it was very good. And then Kazoo just makes himself look tougher, which like mood, to be fair. Like, I wear a leather jacket in this presentation of myself. I don't see why I would change that in my virtual reality type stuff. I'd still be there with a leather jacket and sunglasses, I imagine, if I went anywhere outside. Oh, that's very good. A part of me does wonder how much time has passed, because we have that 6-month deadline. It's been a while. So that's going to come up at some point. So I'm just, It's pretty good for them to keep the timeline sort of, I don't want to say vague, but like, you know, they didn't specify it in this episode, which does kind of make sense. I don't think my brain would be able to sort of take in much of the countdown during the episode with all the stuff going on. You know, if they were saying, oh, you've got this many days left. Oh, no, you've got this many days left. Pressure. Yeah. I also like the design of like the sort of evil mech. You see it a bit in the intro thing, and you're like, oh, what's that about? But like, the forearms I really liked. Combat can be difficult at times representing visually, because you have a lot of moving parts. Yeah, people and moving parts, and those are like, you know, more difficult things to animate. And this showed different possibilities for fights. You don't see four-armed characters fighting so much. Like, there are examples out there. There are multitudes. But, like, nowhere near as much as, like, some other sort of monster designs, if you can say that. And I really liked it, because it didn't just feel like, sometimes when, like, things have four arms in fiction, then they'll have like their arms, and they'll just have the two arms that just kind of, or just go down their sides or something, and they just don't move like people move their arms, which is a lot, and very naturally, without even thinking about it, or without even seeing or looking at them and stuff like that, and kind of know what they're doing. So like, I liked that, because like, although you can't like, it can be difficult to do two tasks separately, which is what the sort of pat head, rub stomach thing's about, different arms. There are some things that you can do, like push things and grab things. And those are like, I think those come up quite a lot in like fighting mechs. Like, I've never done that myself, but I imagine it does. So that was very good. It was quite visually interesting as well. And I liked the different sort of design. Like, they were like, this is the evil mech, and they use all the pointy shapes and stuff like that, and the red eye, and I'm like, yeah, that's the evil mech. I'm never going to get that mixed up with anything. So, that's valid. Overall, I'm very much into this episode. The last one I really liked, but there was not so much to say on it. This one, I'm like, you got some great character things. I didn't even mention one, like I got the Easter egg sort of reference thing. When they talk about video games, like sci-fi, that's just our life, and it was like, oh, we could be monster hunters, and like characters dressed up as Ruby characters, and I'm just... That was. I know that was meant to be like a sort of like, that was purely for the fans, but I still enjoyed it, even though it was very much, here is a thing for you which doesn't make sense in the story, and it was like, oh, for me, thank you, I'll take it. I don't care that it doesn't make sense. It's a nice little reference. It was very good. Made me happy. But yeah, very much enjoyed this episode. Like, let me know what you think in the comments, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Goodbye.